Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. We are playing the Hardcore Breach League. And before we continue onwards into Act 4, there's a couple of clips I'd like to show you from some footage I recorded after the previous episode, after we reached Act 4. Changed some gear around and I had a very interesting run in just doing the aqueducts yet again. So it's gonna be a couple of minutes of that footage and then we're gonna go onwards. Another level for our Spectres. Hey, hello there, Minara, Ane, Mina. Fourth by killer, ooh, basket reaper. That's a rogue witch. Is that Ormvorax? That's Ormvorax! I like it! We have a new weapon. Oh yeah, 55 to all resists. That's definitely worth it for us. So this is the point where we will probably start seeing a lot of very nice wands just to taunt us. It's the fear thing again. Everybody in here, top of the fear, you are dead. Citrin is the amulet I want. Immortal Coal, what a Val version. You can't unval them. Discharge endurance charges, making the character unable to die for a short time, proportional to how many endurance charges were expended. So 0.4 seconds. Val skills, they cannot be triggered by anything. They're not triggerable. So that's gonna be unfortunate. Okay. Oh wait, might as well just get our bone offering up. So minions are a bit tankier. And the chicken is dead. Long live the chicken. And then, with the exception of maybe finding a breach here, I think that's gonna be all the interesting content for this episode. But as I said, finding a Ormvorax is exciting enough as it is. So, definitely not complaining about doing this extra little run in order to test out the new skill configuration. Ooh, heralds. I really don't like heralds. Stay hurt. No! I was trying to get out. Ah! This is not the way it was supposed to go. I found an Ormvorax, which was actually gonna fix my lightning resistances. So, yeah. That was my first hardcore death this league. Problem was that I was pretty tired. That was actually the 5th episode I had recorded that evening. And that was off the back of a rather exhausting weekend with really poor sleep. And I was actually debating myself whether I should record the previous episode where I fought Dominus or not. And actually postponed it till the next day, till I was a bit more awake. But I figured I was really in the flow. I've been very warmed up. So I was in a decent state to do a boss fight, because just going into a boss fight cold without having played before is also not the best of ideas. So it seemed like a calculated risk. So, well, Dominus fight went okay. And then after that, of course, I did make it to Act 4. I figured, no, let's do another quick run of the aqueducts. What could possibly go wrong in the aqueducts, right? And, well, then of course I found that Aurum Vorex. Then I found that Val Immortal Call. And then now defeating the big chicken. And then after that, what could possibly go wrong? Breaches are the dangerous thing, right? And I was like, ooh, it's a Herald. Well, yeah, Herald's hurt. This is actually the second hardcore death in a row, thanks to Heralds or totems that inflict lightning damage. I remember a certain encounter with a totem boss in the mines somewhere. That was also not fun. But this was all last Sunday evening, the launch weekend of the Breach League. So of course I've had the entire week to start a new character and level up. So major lesson learned there: don't play when tired. So I've actually been following that for myself, and I haven't been playing after 10 o'clock in the evening anymore, in order to just make sure that I'm not going to play when I'm completely tired, and things will be better. So we have a rebuild, and of course if you're doing something again, then you can learn from all the experience you have done before. So we know breaches hurt. We know breaches hurt quite a bit, and breaches so far are all elemental damage. So I've been focusing on getting my resistances in good shape, and I actually had my fire resistance maxed, but I made a couple of equipment changes again based on some recent drops. So fire is now slightly below maximum. The trade-off is that we have about 130 less life than before, but our resists are nearly maxed, so I think that's a fair trade-off. In terms of skills, we're mostly doing the same as before. We have Summon Raging Spirits with minion damage and faster casting in a +1 to Socketed Fire Gems wand. As was pointed out to me by a viewer. It's almost a week ago. I don't actually remember who suggested it, but I've got a lot of good advice from all of you. So I'm just gonna thank you for that. Most of the footage was already recorded almost a week ago, so a lot of things were not really applicable anymore by the time the episodes came out. But I just happened to need a rebuild, so I could actually implement quite a bunch of suggestions. So a +1 wand to Fire Gems, Summon Raging Spirits, something I overlooked, but of course there's a lot of watchful eyes watching along. This spell has the fire tag, because half of the damage that Raging Spirits do is fire damage. As such, it benefits from +1 to items. And the thing is, minions, they gain more life and more damage when their gem is a level higher. So Raging Spirits definitely useful to put in a +1. Let's actually quickly go into the hideout, so I can also show you some casting things. So I've actually linked it with faster casting rather than minion life or minion speed, and that is so we can just get a whole bunch of those things out. We currently can get up to 14, and it's actually 13, 14, and then we're out of mana. Very useful for just doing a lot of damage. So while you're leveling, keep the faster casting in, and don't do anything else with the Raging Spirits. This is gonna do a lot of damage. Let's see, the utilities are in our head for now. Flame Dash with faster casting, with Convocation and Bone Offering. Currently we have so many skills equipped, I don't even have a spot for Bone Offering. Once we start channeling, we can merge some things, and then things will be better. Let's see, we've got Desecrate, of course. We have Discipline, just this aura. And we picked up Arctic Armor as a defensive. It's not an aura, but something that preserves energy. Reason for that, we take less physical damage, we take less fire damage, so it helps us. And especially since we're old, we're just standing there, casting things most of the time. We benefit tremendously from the defensive advantages that Arctic Armor grants us. So for now, I figured that's a really nice way to spend our mana. And we got Foul Spark, something that dropped in the original playthrough from one of the Foul side areas, and I overlooked it. But when going through, I saw it in the stash and I figured, why not bring it along? It's a Foul Spark skill that we can actually use, contrary to Foul Glacial Hammer. And it's rather darn useful. It spawns a whole bunch of sparks. And especially in breaches, minions are coming at you from all the sides. So casting a Foul Spark, once you really got a nice critical mass of minions, it will kill a lot of them, and it will really extend the amount of time you have in the wave. And it's a very nice panic button, especially if you find yourself now in a corner like this. If you cast the Foul Spark, then the Foul Sparks that are going towards the walls here, they'll bounce back from the wall and they'll also go out. So you double the density of sparks pushing against the minions. Really, really effective for killing a lot of them. Or you just teleport on top of a rare or a breach boss or something, and then you Foul Spark. It's a shocking success. Then we have Ray Spectre with just minion life and minion damage. Nothing truly spectacular about that. Which, speaking of, we actually need some of them. And then we have Ray Zombie with minion damage, minion life, and it also has a spell totem now. A reason for that: A, it became rather expensive to cast minions. Looking at the tune of 60 to 75 mana if you put an offensive support in this 4th link. And if you, in a breach, if your zombies get devoured, you really want to quickly recast them, so you're just scattering to get some desecrates out, and then you're recasting your zombies. And 2 cast and your mana is gone. So you're really being bottlenecked by just how many zombies you can recast based on mana. And in a breach, you don't want to be casting zombies, you want to be casting spirits, because spirits do damage. So it's this really nasty tug of war between wanting to do damage and wanting to get your tanks back up. But the thing is, no, those zombies, you don't really need to recast them all that often. So most of the time, you just got your Ray Skeletons out. Your Ray Skeletons totem, that is. But if in a panic situation you need new zombies, you just put down the zombie totem and it will just devour all the corpses, get you new zombies. Later on, once you get Beacon of Corruption, it's gonna be great at just generating more clouds, more toxic clouds. So it's all great. So that is our current setup. So we have this lovely little wand. We have a ring with some life, with some resists and some mana regen. Rings with mana regen, that's a valuable trait to look for. As I said before, Raging Spirit is just gonna drain your mana rather quickly. Then another ring with just more of the same, no mana regen, but resists, actually decent amount of resist. Helmet, some life, some mana. We have a body armor, just a bunch of energy shield and some lightning resist. This was the first 4-socketed energy shield armor I found, so that's why I'm using it. Still, the gear is not great, it's just better than what we had in the previous playthrough, because I could use some of the stuff that I had stashed away. Plus I was a bit lucky with some finds. And of course I had a working base of currency to start with, so I could reroll some items and things like that. A shield that turned out pretty okay. We have a bunch of resistances on here, which is the main reason I'm using this. So as you notice, no, there's less life on our gear, but there's more resistances. That's a conscious choice that I went for. Once we get Haku to a slightly higher level, we could actually craft some life on some of our gear. So that is useful. We can also craft some resist on our gear, which is going to be pretty good. Boots, again, it's the first 4-link I got, and it has some movement speed and some energy shield, and for the rest it's pretty rubbish, so this will get replaced. Belt, some life, some lightning resist and some strength, and gloves with some cold resist and some energy shield. So as you see, the gear is really not in all that great state, but it will do. And our flasks, finally, I actually consciously looked for this insta-heal flask. So this one recovers 50% of our life instantly, the other half is just recovered over time. But if we manage to get ourselves into some kind of hairy situation, at least I have an instant flask to fall back on, rather than only heal over times. Again, previous playthrough, didn't really have a good currency base, so I didn't really have the currency to spend on rolling flasks, because rolling flasks, until they are perfect, it's horrendous. The fact that I'm still out of Orbs of Alteration, and I have seen this one hit 30, it's a sign that no, you're spending your currency on a lot of things, and flasks is one of them. I would have liked the curse removal on a flask, it's just bleeding. This one is also bleeding. Freeze and chill, and just another Quicksilver, because I like my Quicksilvers. And that's all the talking I'm gonna do. Let's actually do some playing. So we're gonna run the Dried Lake, and I think then we have a long enough episode. But I did want to at least show you some gameplay of the new setup. But also notice we're looking a little bit shinier. I figured, you know, might as well look stylish. And normally when doing a new playthrough, I usually don't bother with MTXs until Cruel, because you're just going through the gear so often. And it's really tedious just swapping MTXs while also recording the gameplay for YouTube. But in this case, because I was not actually recording the gameplay, it was good enough. So maybe we will just bedazzle the monsters, and that's gonna provide us some extra safety. Don't know. So in hindsight, one of the bits of the bits, I don't know, what do you call it? Yeah, let's go for bits. One of the bits of gameplay that I, in hindsight, I'm kind of bummed out that I didn't record, was when the patch 2.50B patch was about to deploy. So about 50 minutes before that, they announced that the patch was going to be deployed in 50 minutes. And, well, I had just logged on, so I figured, well, it's 50 minutes of gameplay, let's see how far I can get. I started in the slums in Act 2. And by the time there was 15 minutes remaining, I was in the warehouse district, just looking for the exit into the marketplace. I figured, let's grab the marketplace waypoint, and then maybe grab the Vitarios bust, and then log out for the patch, and then after that continue. So I enter the marketplace. First thing I see is the entrance down into the sewers. So I figured, about 10-15 minutes remaining. Let's do the sewers, grab the bust, and then we'll get the waypoint, and we'll log out. So that was easy set, easy done. I go in. Hello, breach. Okay, so, well, hey, breach is a bonus, right? So I do the breach. Then I walk forward towards the bust. There's a breach next to the bust. There's also a Furici. Oh, not a Furici. Yeah, Furici, the assassin dude. He was also in the same room, so figured, let's do the Furici quest first. He was just standing off by itself nicely in the corner, so he wouldn't be a nuisance afterwards. Oh, cleared that. Then, of course, the breach will do. Okay, let's do a Vaal Spark here. Oh. He was slightly impressed. Not completely, but slightly. Slightly enough. Okay, well, I think we got him. Yes, we got him. Right.
Thaumaturgy just keeps getting the better of you, doesn't it,
Okay, distraction out of the way. Epic boss fight out of the way. Continue back to the story. So I was in this in the sewer. So there's a breach next to the bust. And next to the Furici. So did the Furici, grabbed the bust, did the breach. Okay, cool. Went out, up to the marketplace. Actually found the exit. So Usually the waypoint is somewhere near the exit of the sewers. So I go to the exit, I walk my circle around the square. Not a waypoint to be found, right? Of course, you're looking for the waypoint, you don't find it. But what I did found was a bridge. Okay, hey, that's another bridge. Sure, let's go for it. So that was within 5 minutes, that was the third bridge I had encountered. Okay, well, bridge, fun. Clock is ticking, but sure. It was fun to do. Then I keep looking and I find another breach. No waypoint, but I found a second breach in the marketplace. So, well, I was just morally compelled to do it, as of course. So, marketplace, we do another breach, and I find the exit. So I figured, now let's go to the next area, because the waypoint in the next area is at least in a predictable location. So that helps. And then on my way to the waypoint in there, I find another 2 breaches. So within the span of 10 minutes, there were 6 breaches. I was so happy with that, and I was just really just surprised, because I was on such a clock, and then you are so lucky to find so many breaches. But that was a really nice bit of gameplay. But of course, though, in hindsight, I realized like, hey, that was actually pretty cool, and it's probably not going to happen again. And indeed, it hasn't happened. I haven't been that lucky with breaches since then. Let's see. Skill tree. We are still doing the exact same build, and we actually get ourselves an extra minion. While we were leveling in the first place, grabbing practical application before Arcane Focus was a good call. So start out from the start, Deep Wisdom, Lord of the Dead, Grave Intentions, then practical application, then Arcane Focus, and then just snake our way up to Cruel Preparations, Death Attunement, Minion Disability, Unnatural Calm, then Puppet Master, and next up is going to be Herd the Flock, which is actually the only node I realize has elemental resistances for minions. So that is going to be a very useful one with all the breaches and their resistances, and their elemental damage. So I'm not quite sure if we already encountered Nightwane or not. We'll see. This is one that is worth... Ooh, Arcanist Strongbox with 8 additional items. I like it. Also, it detonates corpses, so we should re-raise our zombies. Hello, Nightwane. So we got zombies, then we'll just put some skeletons up as well. And let's also work with this guy. Let's do a Valspark, just clear all the minions. And there is our currency. Ooh, and a 4-link bone circlet. That's yet another chance at making something shiny out of it. Sacred Mana, that's good. Chance, Fusing, Regret, Chaos Orb. I've been lucky with the Chaos Orb drops as well. I think I've got 3 or 4. Some of them even from chests. Not even from Arcanist chests. But this is the second Arcanist chest that actually did drop a Chaos Orb. So either they have adjusted the drop rates a little bit, or I'm just more lucky with those drops now than I was in previous leagues. Either way, I'm definitely not complaining about that. Because we will of course need all the Chaos Orbs we can get in order to reroll crappy rares. With decent sockets. And that's it, we just encountered Nightwane and we have defeated Fall, so let's go back to town. And then end the episode by opening the way forward. And then Ozun is gonna get us a golem. Golem's gonna be good. We're gonna get ourselves a stone golem because they have a lot of life. Yeah, stone golem. So I'll see if I can rework the sockets a little bit to get that stone golem in. As I mentioned before, we are really constrained in terms of just the available space to actually use all of our gems. But once we start channeling, I think that will solve itself. But for now, we have advanced slightly. We have a brand new character with just a couple of tweaks, a slightly new insight in how to play the build, slightly more focus on staying alive, which now has once again been emphasized, is rather useful. But for now, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.